Everything that we do in life is a risk, right? But you can't get out of here alive. That's what Les Brown says. He says, let me tell you how risky life is. I'm sorry, that's Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn said, let me tell you how risky life is. Nobody gets out alive, right? Isn't that deep and profound? I think it is. Love and light, ladies. This is Love, also known as the Self-Love Guru, and I'm your confidence coach. I just washed my hands, so gotta moisturize. Right now, I'm not even gonna tell you what brand this is. You know what? Never mind. I'm not getting paid for this. Anyway, so this is from the Melanin Shades Room, shades with an S. And there's this post that one of my friends sent me. And you know what? Love her to death. This is like my ace boon coon. And literally, she sent this to me because I had a discussion with her about family planning. And we were talking about, like, you know what? We are done with grad school. Like, I want to get married, have a baby. And she was like, yeah, you know, my significant other and I were talking about having a baby too. Didn't mention marriage. So I'm like, pause, you know. And it's so timely because I've literally been doing this series for weeks on family planning. And like I said, we're still in the series in terms of my blog. We're still doing the series on character traits. I think we have about 2 more weeks of that. But I wanted to start the videos on family planning because I knew this was going to spark some really good discussions. But long story short, she asked me to comment on this post. So again, the Melanin Shades Room is where it came from. She literally just DM'd this to me like less than 5 minutes ago. And it says, this is why I require a ring before a baby. Say what y'all want, but I want a husband, not a BD. BD stands for baby daddy, okay? So I'll read further. So people were tweeting her like, a ring don't stop S, sis. You can still end up a single mother. The second one says, a ring ain't gonna stop a ninja from ninjaing. Y'all gonna be sick when you realize a ring don't stop S. Very angry, might I add. Where's this energy coming from? But I'll continue. A ring doesn't even matter. Somebody will always find a way to do something wrong. And then this last one says, in my opinion, a ring guarantees nothing but lawyer and legal fees when S goes south. What's really important is a man of integrity who respects women. Someone else says, a ring doesn't even matter. Wait, that happened twice. Okay. Someone else said, there's a lot of married single mothers. Go off though. So the woman responds and she's like, y'all really projecting on me like I caused your pain. Honey, I'm here to say life happens, but with the right choices and prayer, you shall be delivered, with a T, from everything, right? And then she said, last thing, y'all make it personal for y'all when it's my choice, and that's why y'all are triggered. I know husbands can be trash. My thing is, I want the foundational aspects of a loving spouse before I raise kids. Thank you. And someone in the comments said, tell me we're not chopping marriage down to rings and divorce. I know the bar really isn't that low. So let me say this before I dive into here. I have to say what I'm not saying first because that's just how the internet works. So if any of you scraggle muffins come in the comments and say something weird, I know you didn't listen to the whole video. All right. First of all, not bashing these women for feeling like they don't have to have a ring before a child. I've even heard people argue that you do not have to be married before you have a baby, or you don't have to be married in order to raise a child. And that's very much so true. But let me tell you some of the benefits of marriage, all right? So number one, longer life. Research consistently shows that couples in a committed marriage even live longer than those who are single, cohabitating, or divorced. Increased serotonin levels, less chance of developing depression, joint filing taxes, if that's something that you would like to do. Social Security benefits. So if either you or your spouse don't qualify for your own Social Security benefits, you can receive the other spouse's benefits. Prenuptial agreement benefits. Those are good. IRA benefits. You can actually roll over a deceased spouse's IRA to your own. And or you can, so let's say you have, well, your husband has an IRA and you don't have an IRA, he can contribute to your IRA if you create one. So then you have your own retirement account, but because he's your husband, he can legally apply for it. Y'all know I am a licensed life insurance agent. So on that side, you can receive those benefits when he passes away. You can receive that life insurance. Health insurance benefits. If your spouse has health insurance, you can get on that health insurance. Paternity benefits. If issues ever arise over the paternity of a child with a married couple, the married couple typically has less of an issue. There isn't really this long process you have to go through. And there's just so many more. I mean, let's think about outside of these legal things that Beyonce's internet mentioned. Let's talk about how you benefit socially. When we talk about high value men, high value women, they're typically married. You don't really see too many high value women in positions of power that are not married unless they're entertainers and it's for their image. And typically, even if it's just for their image, they still have a man. Okay, they just don't put it out there, just like how there are like actors who don't talk about their significant other, you know, male actors, because women will lust over them. And so it can be somewhat detrimental to their career for someone to know that they're attached, because it takes away that fantasy, right? We can't deny the benefits of marriage. And literally all of these comments, I mean, a ring don't stop S. You can still end up a single mother. A ring ain't gonna stop a ninja from ninjaing. A ring don't stop nothing. You know, someone will always find a way to do something wrong. Like, these are all very emotional and scarred responses. And like, just because, yes, okay, you're absolutely correct. A ring doesn't stop anything except for someone coming in, infringing on your rights as a married woman. That's something that they can't take away from you. What you don't understand is that if you get cheated on while you're single, nobody cares. All right. You just are left with the decision of whether or not you'd like to stay. However, if someone cheats on you while you're married, there are legal ramifications for breaking that contract. Of course, depending on what state you live in, but typically that's how that works, right? You can even put something in the prenuptial agreement where every time you cheat, you have to give me $5,000. It's written, right? So why is it all of this? Oh, you can still end up a single mother. You know what? Technically, like I said, you could. end up taking on those duties of a mom by yourself. And although it's not ideal for your man not to help you, the children are typically the woman's responsibility anyway. Don't really see a lot of men too much involved in that process. They may play with their children, they may provide for their children, but in terms of parenting, they're not really that involved. They take more of like a laissez-faire approach. Or you have some dads who are a little bit more disciplinary and they could be overbearing, right? He doesn't have to do that. His role is to support you, to financially support the home. And when I say support you, that means make sure that you have everything that you need as a woman and that you're living a comfortable life so that you can take care of your children. This right here is BS. And I'm going to be honest. I mean, yeah, you could theoretically have a child, out of wedlock, but what does that really look like? Like, I know society is sort of evolving in different ways. And when I say evolving, I literally mean changing. And let me just make sure that I'm using that in the correct way. Because I don't think that evolving in a sense of like growth, that's not the definition that I'm looking for. So let me make sure I'm using develop gradually from a simple to a more complex form. Okay. Yeah, no. So it is moving from a simple to a more complex form because I think things were a lot simpler. But let me just use the word change instead of evolve. And what I mean by changing, people are moving away from traditional values and it's destroying our communities, specifically the Black community. We are suffering the most from this. And you don't have to take my word for it. You can look at the research, but at the end of the day, Black women need to be married before we bear children. When you go into another relationship, typically these men fake and pretend like they want a family with you or they don't mind that you have a child. And after they have sex with you, that's pretty much it. It's very rare that a man wants to take on that responsibility of another child. And if he does, can you even trust him around your baby? Like, please look at the statistics of women who have children and their child is abused by a stepfather or a stepmom. Like, people innately are not built to just care for another one's young. Look at freaking nature. Let's just be honest. There was another relationship person who was speaking about the animal kingdom, specifically lions, and how if a male lion gets with a female lion who already has cubs, he like mauls them, he kills her babies, and then he starts a new family. And so that is a very extreme example, but most men want your womb to just be theirs. They want that foundation. And so the question really is like, what are you willing to receive? Like, what do you want in exchange for that womb space? You can die during childbirth, pregnancy. My camera died, ladies. So where I ended, you can die during childbirth. Pregnancies are not always the easiest. Babies cost money. Prenatal care costs money. Food costs money. Housing costs money. And so it's really about setting up your child for success. Children just do better in two-parent homes. That's just period. And I think a lot of people, because of their own traumas that they haven't resolved, they tend to focus on, oh, well, something could go wrong, something negative could happen, and that's fear-mongering. So you mean to tell me you tell other women that they shouldn't get married or that it doesn't matter if they're married just because it may not work out? You could go to a job and get fired in a month. You can get in your car and get in a car accident. You can start a program at school and then the school shuts down, or you get put on academic probation because you couldn't keep up with the needs of the program. And I say all that to say, so many other things are a risk as well. Everything that we do in life is a risk, right? but you can't get out of here alive. That's what Les Brown says. He says, let me tell you how risky life is. I'm sorry, that's Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn said, let me tell you how risky life is. Nobody gets out alive, right? Isn't that deep and profound? I think it anyway, I appreciate you all for listening to this video. Don't share your thoughts with me. I don't care what you think about whether or not a person should get married. I'm aware of all the nuances. I'm aware that someone can get divorced. I'm aware that divorces can get nasty and there are legal ramifications. But I guarantee you there are other things that can happen as a result of not being a married woman. And I'd rather not see what that life looks like. I've seen it enough. I feel like you can seriously learn from other people's mistakes. And like I told my BFF, there's enough baby mamas. We need more wives. Okay? I love you ladies so much. Consider the life that you want. Even if you don't want to be married, just consider the life that you want and then set yourself up so that you can get there. All right? And if you need my support with that, email me at info@hangingoutwithlove.com so I can get you on my schedule for a consult. And if you have not been to the website lately to read any of those new blogs, go to hangingoutwithlove.com, click on the blog section and read up. All right? Peace.